No surprises here so far. I mean, I called Oregon and Georgia. I'll reveal my predictions at the end to see like if it's any different. But yeah, this is my reaction to the 12-team college football playoff.
But a conference champion has to claim each of those 2 byes, and there are 3.
I think it's going to be Boise State and then Clemson is the 3 and 4.
Arizona State from the Big 12. Clemson, a surprise winner in the ACC, and not listed on Boise State's resume. It's what we talked about earlier. Did a lone loss, a close game against Oregon. Who do you favor?
I favor Boise State, champions of the Mountain West, 12-1. And to your point, their only loss on the road.
Just show us the rankings.
They get a couple of kickoffs to beat them. I think they should be above those other 2.
I'll be stunned if it's not Boise State, because Tuesday, when you talk about the gap between Boise State
And I think Notre Dame actually slides down to the 7. I think it's going to be Notre Dame at 7, 5 would be Texas, and 6 will be Penn State. That's going to be my predictions for the first 3 non-conference winners.
Oregon, Georgia, pretty easy. The 3rd seed in the college football playoff will buy in the quarterfinals.
Yep.
Goes to Boise State.
Now who gets the bye?
Overall, in the 80s, right around 80, but Spencer Danielson's team, watch party there. Ashton Jeanty, Heisman Trophy candidate, and Boise State for years.
Yeah, I think Ashton Jeanty probably will know Heisman. I think it should be Travis Hunter, but it'll probably be Jeanty.
This is different. Now they're playing and competing for a national championship. Win, and they can take home the biggest prize. Now, 1 more bye in the quarterfinals remains. It will go to a conference champion, and we're down to Arizona State or Clemson. Who has the final bye? It's
Okay.
Arizona State. So Arizona State gets the bye.
Arizona State's 12. Okay. That could throw a wrench in some things.
In the semifinals of Oregon against Arizona State, the Sun Devils celebrating a remarkable turnaround.
So did SMU not really drop that much?
Instead, they not only make the playoff,
Or did they drop way out?
and we'll tell you where these bowl games will be. You can probably figure it out, but we'll tell you where the bowl games are a little bit later on, and that's what quarterfinals will be, bowl games.
Just a tremendous reward for winning a conference championship, too. Highlighting the opportunity to avoid the first round, make it to the second round automatically, and getting that first round bye.
But I do want to point out something. Conference championships have been rewarded, but what you have is number 1 and number 2 in the rankings for the bye, but you also have number 9 and number 12. So they're viewed by the committee as the 9th and 12th best teams, but instead, they're placed into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, that does make sense, too.
Under this system, I think we have all said and pointed out, I hope this is a 1-year deal. And after this, just see the field.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get the bye just by winning the conference. So there is one more.
I disagree with that. You should be rewarded for winning your conference.
It will be Clemson. So let's see where Clemson is.
A 12 seed. Okay.
Ranked 16th. So the 16th ranked team.
They're going to put Bama in, aren't they?
They get the lowest seed possible in the field.
Yeah, I don't think it matters with Clemson right now.
No,
Just a few weeks ago, they weren't in this thing, and now they are. And I think they come in this thing.
Please don't put Bama in this thing.
No matter where they go, no matter what they're seated, they're in the top 12.
So those are the teams who qualified by winning conference championships automatically into the 12-team bracket. Now from here, you have to fill out the rest of the bracket. And remember,
I had Clemson at the 11 and then SMU at the 12.
5 through 8.
No, wait, sorry, to Arizona State at the 11.
So the 5th seed,
SMU at the 12.
Clemson in the bracket,
And I put
home
Clemson at the 4th.
is The Texas.
I agree with that.
Texas
I agree with
in
that.
a first round game in Austin. Winner gets Arizona State, and I would imagine that everybody would take that path.
So the number 6 will be the 4th ranked
That is a very
team.
coveted seed, that 5 seed, the opportunity to play the weakest team in the field, and then now up against a Big 12 team in the second round as the first round bye. And the committee had Texas ahead of Penn State. They had them ahead of Notre Dame going into conference championship weekend. So, tough game, hard-fought game, losing in overtime. They stay in.
Who's going to get the home game between Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Penn State? Wait. All 3 of them can. Maybe Tennessee. I don't know. But this is going to be something.
As we continue on with an SEC versus ACC motif throughout this reveal. Clemson 0-2 against SEC team, blown out by Georgia, lost to South Carolina, who is not going to be in the field. So Texas has a home game. They're the 5 seed, number 3 in the country according to the rankings. Who has the 6 seed?
Penn State. Yep.
Penn State. So Happy Valley will host a first-round playoff game after James Franklin's team came up a little bit short against Oregon.
I will say the committee did say that they were not going to punish conference championship losers if it was not a blowout. SMU lost on a 56-yard field goal.
In the quarterfinal, no disrespect to Boise, I think you take that probably.
Yeah, if you look at Penn State, again, you're valuing losses for Penn State.
Yes.
Look at the resume, who they beat, not great. But they did play Ohio State. They did play Oregon, lost both those games. Those are the 2 losses. They come in as a 6 seed. I'm not arguing, but there will be people out there saying, who are those 11 wins against?
Okay, so you have 1 home game at Texas. You have 1 home game at Penn State. The 7th seed, the college football playoff.
Notre Dame.
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And on a chilly afternoon,
Who gets the
in
last-
December, beneath the Golden Dome in the shadow of touchdown Jesus, the word of
Who gets the last home game? Is it going to be Oregon or is it going to be, sorry, not Oregon, Tennessee or Ohio State? I think they'll play each other, but where is that game?
Be able to see them. Where's the pizza at?
Get the whole TV in.
Marcus Freeman, what a job they did. Notre Dame will have a home game as the 7th seed. Once we get to the 10th, we'll find out their matchup. Now, 1 more home game left. And one thing I'm going to ask Ward Manuel shortly when he joins us, how much consideration went into this? Because let's be honest.
Considering it's Ward Manuel, they're probably put Ohio State at 9, just because it's Ward Manuel.
But one of them is going to get to play at home in the first round. The 8th seed final home game belongs to
Oh, wow.
Ohio State. Coming off a disappointment the last time they set foot on the Sheer.
Ohio State at 9.
Will be at home, and they will have that weather advantage, Kirk, as Ryan Day and the Bucs are trying to bounce back.
They'll play
from the
Tennessee.
disappointment against Michigan.
Maybe Indiana. No, it'll be Tennessee, because Indiana won't jump to 8. It'll be Tennessee playing Ohio State. It'll be Indiana playing Notre Dame, and I got SMU playing Penn State.
Booing Ryan Day. They'll have to rally and have a good start to that game, or it could turn sideways with the home crowd, in my opinion.
And Ohio State's going to be at
This was last year. We had 2 SEC and 2 Big Ten teams.
Shortly. Got the opportunity
In the
for
4.
the rematch against Oregon in what was just a great game.
You'd have Oregon playing Penn State in the first round, and then Georgia playing Texas in the other first round. But they might flip this seeding just to avoid, like, have Georgia play Penn State and Oregon play
Who has
Texas.
to go on the road and face Ohio State as the 9 seed?
Tennessee.
The Tennessee Volunteers, and Big Orange really hoping that they were going to get a home game. Instead, they'll travel not too far away and go to Columbus.
And the fact that they didn't get a home game, I wouldn't be disappointed seeing the way that Ohio State had to stop the run. We know that Tennessee's going to run the football with Dylan Sampson. So all things being equal, if you're John Type, you got to feel pretty good about going to Columbus.
Yeah, I think if you're Tennessee, you probably like the opportunity, you like the matchup. Every team you play is going to be tough. But the one area that Ohio State has struggled with is along their own offensive line. What is the best part of Tennessee's team? Their defensive front. So I think that matchup will be fascinating to see if Ohio State's O-line can solidify here before this first round game.
The 11th ranked team will be left out, I think.
Reese, I think it's interesting to look at
Yeah, that's the way it'll
next
work.
game, right? The winner of that game, we were talking earlier about
Yeah,
Texas
10.
and Clemson playing Arizona
11 will
State,
be left out.
That being potentially a coveted position. We talked about that all year, that 5-hole. Look at Tennessee and Ohio State, who they match up with, the winner of that game. That's pretty exciting to look at that game. Potential rematch with Oregon and Ohio State, or Tennessee gets a shot to take on the number 1 team throughout the year.
You know, it could be that maybe we talked about the 5 seed being coveted. As I look at the way this bracket's unfolding, maybe it's going to be 6. Maybe it's 6. Okay, 8-9 game is Ohio State Tennessee. The 7-10 matchup in South.
It'll be
Bend.
Indiana,
Fighting
in-state
Irish will
matchup.
take on
Yup.
in-state battle. Signetti wanted a home game. I don't think he had much of a case for a home game, but he doesn't have to travel too far. is the Hoosiers were remarkable.
You're gonna have a lot of fans from both teams at that game.
Two different teams, Indiana and Notre Dame. Notre Dame with their run game, Riley Leonard also their run game. Love.
That's a matchup I got right. I got the Ohio State-Tennessee matchup right, but I had it flipped.
They want to throw the ball. They want to play in the air. Very good defense, but can hold up against the run of Notre Dame.
In-state battle. Don't see that one a lot over the years, you know. Now forced together by this new 12-team bracket, Notre Dame and Indiana.
Please, please, please do not put Alabama in this thing.
One spot remaining. I think we pretty much know the two teams it comes down to. They come down to Alabama, which has some rough losses.
I mean, when you put it that way, you have Alabama, but they aren't looking at the bad losses. SMU has lost to two really good teams in BYU and Clemson.
Would put them into the field. You see the key wins being Louisville and Duke hit TCU, whereas Alabama has three teams on their ledger that will be ranked in the top 15 to 20.
It's probably going to be Bama, but I'm hoping for SMU, and I predicted SMU.
Right there is the key wins, and I think that's what Coach Saban was talking about. You look at the key wins for Alabama versus the key wins.
But Alabama's not going to go up in the rankings, so maybe it will be SMU.
And having to go through those schedules.
I know that I'm dragging this out. I want to say this before we get to the end. There's no right answer here, but there are downsides to both answers.
Yep, I agree.
Because SMU played in a conference championship game. Alabama has a couple of ugly losses, but you got to choose one of them, and they're going to get criticism either way. To take on Penn State and the final spot in the college football playoff. Who is it?
Yes!
The SMU.
Oh, yeah! Bama misses the playoff.
And edge out Alabama. So it will be SMU and Penn State as the ACC gets the last two spots in terms of seeding, and they get the last at-large spot. And so now we'll do the first team out, which we all presume to be Alabama.
Yep, and then it's going to be Ole Miss.
Alabama is the first team out, and the second team out, I assume, will be Miami again. And
Miami. Okay.
So Miami and Alabama.
I agree with this. This is a good playoff. The best first round game is going to be Tennessee, Ohio State.
Nick has talked about this all year on College Game Day, that who you play has to matter, has to be important, whether that's talking about Alabama or anybody else in college football. If you want to incentivize scheduling, then you have to take that into consideration.
All right, that'll wrap up for my reaction, but yeah, this is my first video in a very long time, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.